This is Blackstone Joe, and you're listening to Slick Talk.
If I say I'm an oil man, you will agree.
There's the stink of oil about you.
Hello and welcome into Slick Talk. I am your host, Blackstone Joe, and I'm glad you're here. The other day I was taking a walk through the garage here on the Blackstone campus, and I saw that we recently had a delivery from the USPS because there was a mountain of samples that had arrived just waiting to be unpacked, sent to the lab for testing, and then have the data reported by an analyst like yours truly. And even with the samples arriving in the hundreds, we can still turn those around pretty fast. I think the last time I checked, our turnaround time was about 5 business days. And usually that works out just fine for people who are just going about their maintenance process, taking the sample at their oil change, and then waiting to learn if there's anything going on under the hood that might spur the need for a change down the road with how they're taking care of their engine or their transmission. But there are exceptions to the rule where urgency is really driving that sample because a client can be in a situation where they need that answer not just in the next week or two, but ideally the next day. And in order to secure an answer that fast to the question that you might have, that does call for using an alternative shipping provider, one that isn't included in the cost of your analysis like a return label from the USPS is. So in that case, the services of someone like UPS or FedEx would be in order. And I want to run down a few examples where people did want to look into expedited shipping because I think it might surprise a lot of our listeners, not just the questions that we're able to answer, but also the variety of samples that we'll see on a daily basis, where urgency and having a particular question in mind, having an answer to that question in as quickly as possible, that really drives the sampling process. So to kick things off, we're almost always going to see fuel samples, be it gasoline or diesel fuel. These are often urgent, although there are instances where someone that might be taking care of, say, a fleet, or they could be managing, say, a large number of generators, let's say, at a certain site, and they need to just keep an eye on their fuel every once in a while. But there's often a batch of fuels that arrive, and they're usually in a warranty context, or maybe someone filled up at a gas station and they suddenly notice the car running rough and they suspect that bad fuel is the reason why. That could be driving the sampling too. But in any case, we can fall back on the parameters that guide our analysis as to whether or not that fuel you're sampling is in good condition. And I think fuel is also a good one to lead off with here because while I've talked about it, some in the past, I don't think most people assume that an oil analysis laboratory can talk about fuel and determine whether or not it should be in use. But that is something we can do, whether it's gasoline or diesel fuel, telling you if it's in serviceable condition, based on whether or not there is moisture or solid material. If it's diesel fuel in particular, maybe you need to know if there is evidence of DEF contamination, if there is bacteria present in the sample, we can look for that as well. And of course, if you're running gasoline or diesel fuel, you might suspect contamination from one or the other in the sample. We can look for evidence of contamination and tell you whether or not that fuel should be in use. And if it shouldn't be in use, then that might inform whatever potential issues that system is having. So we're always going to be looking at a few fuel samples that are marked as urgent, and oil samples can be urgent too. And when they are urgent, we're typically going to be looking at either a pre-buy situation or maybe there is a warranty claim pertaining to an engine, or someone that took their car to an oil change place and maybe they ran into a problem shortly after leaving. Maybe the oil cap was loose. Maybe they lost all the oil shortly after leaving the parking lot. That's a scenario that we see on a fairly regular basis. And people will want to know if there is evidence of catastrophic damage from the oil loss, let's say. And of course, oil starvation can present a lot of problems in short order, and we can look for evidence of those problems. But one common theme carries across each of these instances I've gone through, whether it's warranty or pre-buy or someone that suddenly stumbled upon a problem. Often it's our first look. And if it's a warranty or something along those lines that's in question, it's probably going to be our only look too. And that doesn't mean we can't find a problem, but it does mean that we're not going to have the luxury of relying on trend data or seeing both how the engine got there and where it's going to go from here. Because there are instances, let's just fall back on the oil starvation topic, which you can run into if you suddenly lose oil and you're running without much oil in there at all. Well, you can see things improve from there. In fact, it's not uncommon to see that in our line of work. If it's our first and only look at the engine or the transmission, the differential, we're going to rely on mostly comparing that sample to our averages, at least in terms of metal content. And we can still see what looks like an obvious problem, even in a one-off scenario. It's just those situations that tend to have a bit more gray area, where levels may not be perfect, but they may not be bad either. That's where trends can really come in handy. So if you are in a position where you run into a problem, you suspect that the dealer used the wrong oil, let's say, or you lost all the oil shortly after the change, or you had the oil changed and suddenly the engine just seems to be running differently. If that does motivate you to send in a sample, I would just keep in mind that if nothing looks like a glaring problem at first glance, it would be a good idea to see where those levels go from there. Like I recently had a customer sampling, their Toyota, and they live out in North Dakota, and they were talking about, just the fierce weather they run into and whether or not that could be the reason for their engine, which in this case, it was making a little more metal than average. But, I made sure to stress to them both in the comment and over the phone when they followed up that if it were me, I wouldn't be looking at alternatives or assuming repairs, just yet. These were levels that we mainly want to monitor. And that can be the case even when you have a situation as ugly as losing all of the oil right when you leave the oil change place. Or, if you notice a difference in the way the engine runs and you suspect that the recent maintenance has something to do with it, whatever the case may be, one sample may tell you that you are in grave danger of needing a new engine, but it may also tell you that there are results that you merely want to check back on. So if you're able to, a second sample, building trends, all that is for the best. But of course, we understand that when we're looking at, warranty claim, something along those lines, it probably is going to be our first and only look. A pre-buy situation also tends to be our first look. But if you end up buying it, or better yet, if you're buying from someone who has already sampled that aircraft or that boat or that car, we'll go looking for the history if we know it's out there. So if you're in a situation where you're doing a pre-purchase inspection, ask them if they have done oil analysis previously with Blackstone, because if they have, and you mention the client, we have no issue attaching that sample history, both because it's meaningful data for you, but also for us. It informs the report that we're writing now. And having that sample history in place not only makes our job easier, it just makes for a better report, one that's more informative. So if you're in that pre-purchase situation, find out there's history. If there's not, we can still start a comparison with our averages for that engine type, or if it's a transmission, differential, so on and so forth. and we'll go from there. And there are situations where I've seen, fairly ugly results starting out in a pre-purchase, but then things did improve. And obviously, it depends on your wallet. It depends on the situation you're in, whether or not you would still want to invest in, say, a boat that is very expensive and you're looking at data that doesn't necessarily paint a rosy picture. If you do end up buying and checking back, you might well be in that position where things can improve. But of course, there are those scenarios where the problem is obvious. And I think there are just metal counts that unfortunately don't have an explanation other than a problem. And we can draw on, not only averages, but what we've seen. If this looks like an abnormal amount of metal, be it compared to averages, the sample history, if we're seeing visible metal along with the metal that our spectrometer can find. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we'll be loud and clear if there's no good explanation for levels being out of whack. If we see what looks like a problem, we'll tell it like it is. If we don't see any other explanation for less than ideal results, we'll let you know. Unfortunately, that can result in some uncomfortable phone calls and emails, especially from the seller. But at the end of the day, I think that it's a good thing when an oil analysis company can be as upfront and honest as we're equipped to be. And that's because there's no bias or motivation for us to back the seller or the buyer. All we have is the data and letting the person who sent the sample know what sort of picture that data paints. Because especially if it's a pre-purchase for an aircraft, we have to deal with the fact that if we were to say, oh, well, levels are high, but if everything else looks good, other than the engine, feel free and just check back. That's simply not how we're going to approach it, either to make the buyer or the seller more comfortable. So if we see what looks like a problem, something that would prompt us to ground that plane, to seek immediate inspection for that boat or that car, we'll let you know. Because if we wouldn't feel comfortable driving it, flying it, we wouldn't want the customer to feel a false sense of confidence either. So pre-purchase, that's typically an avenue that you're going to go down when it comes to these samples that are marked as urgent that we are analyzing for someone the next day. It's also common to see samples from job site machinery arrive with a sense of urgency because, projects are expensive, and whether or not these machines are having the right oil installed, if they are running that oil too long, or if they have the wrong fuel, or even if they have coolant that is not in serviceable condition. I think coolant is another avenue of testing that people might not assume we go down, but we can look at coolant too and assess whether or not it's in serviceable condition, if it appears to be overly acidic, or if there is the presence of petroleum that shouldn't be there. We'll be loud and clear, because if it's coolant or fuel or the oil that machine needs, and there is something that could cause that machine to suddenly have a problem, well, that can incur a great expense to the project and slow down the progress being made. So keep in mind that whatever needs oil to do its job is going to fall under the umbrella of what oil analysis can assist in. But it's also the fuel, and it's also the coolant that machine is using that we're able to analyze as well. So if you're in a position where you have a sudden situation come up that calls for answers as quickly as possible, if it's a situation where you're doubting that the right oil is in use, whether it's an engine or a transmission, urgency, we understand, can just be a fact of life. And for that reason, you might want to consider the added cost of a carrier besides our trusty USPS connection. And that's really the purpose of today's episode, is not to instill fear about what it is you own or are taking care of, but rather to educate you on the variety of samples, a variety of questions that we are asked on a daily basis, and let you know that there could be situations that come up, such as these I've covered today, where a next day answer could be in your best interest. That brings today's show to a close. Thank you so much for hanging with me. This is Blackstone Joe, signing off.
The Slick Talk podcast is powered by Blackstone Laboratories. If you're ready to start your oil analysis journey, visit blackstone-labs.com to order your free test kit.